Hi, it's your girl Monet, and you're watching The Plant-Based Way with me, a show where I've teamed up with Alpha Foods to get my greens in check. Cha-ching! Today I'm sharing a meal with plant-based expert Nisha Melvani. She's a registered dietitian nutritionist, and she's here to discuss her new cookbook, Practically Vegan. Hi Nisha, how you doing?
I'm good, nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Now, obviously you are a vegan expert, you are a chef, you know all the things, and I want you to treat me like I am a kindergartner who is trying to learn about all things healthy living.
I will try to do that.
So Nisha, you are a dietitian and you are a master nutritionist. Did you fall into these things, or you just been always aware that you wanted to like kind of go down this path?
So I was born and raised in Jamaica, the island, and of Indian descent. So both my parents are Indian. I don't look very Indian, so people don't, or Jamaican, so no one believes any of these. My parents are very different eaters, and their relationship with food is very different. So my dad will eat anything, and he will eat bananas with the peel on. He just
With the peel?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah, and he drinks.
I mean, that is taking vegan eating to the next level. The skin of the banana, that is wild work.
And my mom still eats Spam. That's like probably one of her favorite foods. So I think what that does for me is I'm accepting of everyone's, relationship with food. I think everyone comes from, different backgrounds. Food means so much more than what they eat. And so that's why my book is Practically Vegan. You don't need to come into this being a vegan. Maybe you want to eat more vegan food. And, having a mom like that and a dad so different, I get it.
I lived in St. Lucia for about 10 years.
Oh,
I
wow.
was 1 to 10 years old. So my mom is the same way. My mom eats literally, like the Lion King, everything the light touches. My mom eats. My mom eats whale, shark, mongoose. She eats everything, so I know that. I get it. Growing up in the Caribbean, like you see, like people, they really will eat anything. So I can imagine that that's a struggle growing up with that and being like, okay, I see everything I don't want to eat, and why you may have went the other way, for sure.
Well, it's interesting because you have, I don't know if you have this in St. Lucia, which is ITIL food, which is all plants and no salt even. And so I actually became familiar with that style of eating very young and spent a lot of time, with that group of people. And I loved that food. And I started to, seek out more of it because I felt so good after eating it. So even as like an early teen, when I had, found that whole way of eating, I started to just realize I preferred it.
Then you have this amazing book, Practically Vegan. What I like is that you say vegan dinners on a budget. Because again, you think vegetarian food and you think vegan food and you think I see dollar signs. I'm like, this is gonna cost me a lot of money. But I like that your book is breaking down how to do it on a budget. Please talk about that, because I think it's very important.
Exactly, and especially when you prepare it yourself, when you just go and search for a recipe online, you're gonna have to buy all these unique, weird ingredients that maybe you've never used, and it's expensive. Especially if you're using it for that one recipe.
One time, yeah.
And then what do you do with it? And I'm in New York City. I don't have a pantry. So, I don't know where to store all that stuff. And these recipes that I've put together and the way I cook naturally, because this is a representation of my own cooking at home, they use the same ingredients over and over again in different ways. And you don't need to buy everything organic. You don't need to aim for perfection.
Another big criticism some folks I have heard, not myself personally, have made of vegan food is that, it can be like bland, or there's a really hard way to get good taste on it. What would you say are like the cardinal sins of bad vegan food?
I'm from Jamaica and I'm Indian. So both these, and I lived in England where there's no flavor. So I can compare the no flavor to the flavor.
In the UK, everything is gray and brown, and it has no. I agree 100%. I love the UK. I go there a lot, but the food is not what I go for.
And in Jamaica and India, spice is everything. Flavor is everything.
Yeah.
So all my recipes, while they're budget friendly, you do have a lot of spices and herbs. You don't need to go buy fresh ones. In the end, I don't even add much salt to my food, if any, because if you think about it, all the condiments you use, tamari, coconut aminos, mustard,
Yeah.
vegetable broth, they all have sodium. So you're not actually salt-free, but you really don't need to add it till you see what effect all that has.
Got it. Which I have been guilty of. If something is, I will dump a bucket of salt on things. Like, oh, now it tastes good. Bad cook.
I need to cook for you.
Oh, Nisha, I would love that. I would love that. And so for parents who may be trying to coerce their kids into healthier eating, into plant-based, vegan, were your kids plant-based from the beginning, or did it take a little trickery, a little wiggery to get them into the lifestyle?
So, culturally in Jamaica, you don't short order cook for your kids, right? You eat what you get, right?
You get what you get.
Exactly. Yeah, or you can just not eat tonight. It's your choice. There's no like, oh, you don't want this? Okay, what can I make you? I don't do that. So you roll with it. With kids, I would put it with a vehicle I knew they liked. I know they like rice. I know they like pasta. So let's put all the vegetables with that. So there's like, everything's not a complete shock.
Well, Nisha, we do eat on this program, and Alpha Foods, we sent you a little something so we can have a meal together. Fly in the food, please. Ooh. So Nisha, we're having the Rockin' Ranchero breakfast burrito.
I have the chicken fajita burrito, if that's okay.
Oh, you're having the chicken fajita. Okay, cool, yeah. We can have different things.
It looks really appealing to me. So.
And then listen, when you have this, I want you to give your honest opinions. Don't feel the need to be nice to us. We want your honest opinions about how it tastes.
That was good. I think I'll have one more bite.
What I love, again, because I'm like you, I'm a big flavor person. If something does not have good flavor, I'm immediately turned off. And a lot of these products have good flavor, and they also not just taste good, also smell good too. I'm all my senses need to be activated. They look good, they smell good, they taste good. Signs are delivered. Sometimes I can hear the flavor. I hear it a little bit in this one. Mm-hmm.
No, in my honest opinion, I like it. I like the one I chose. So.
Nisha approved. Yay!
I'm glad I have a freezer full now.
So Nisha, I wanted to optimize my time here with you, and I went on my Instagram and I asked people to give me questions they had about plant-based eating and vegan. So we have a few ones that we want to just ask you for your thoughts and opinions on it, just a few, and you can help us live a better plant-based vegan life. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Absolutely. I'll do my best.
Yeah, so the first one, her name is @HaleyD18, and she asked, what are the easiest ways to kick off plant-based eating if I want to start?
I think roasting. Roasting is, sheet pan dinners, they're the easiest, because like I was saying, you choose which protein. Chickpeas are great for roasting, so easy. And, if you don't...
Chickpeas roasting on an open fire.
I love that.
Let's do the next one. @Herndon131 says, do you think plant-based eating is conducive to losing weight?
I think in this sense, let's say you eat more like refined grains or that kind of thing, or meaty stuff, maybe it sort of it has less fiber. So fiber is only found in plants. You're gonna feel full, and so you're gonna eat less. So it definitely, even in that way, plus, if you don't think it tastes that great at first, you're going to eat less.
That is fair, and I've been there.
Yeah.
Let's take our next question. Is @Leela_things. What supplements are important to take on a plant-based diet?
B12 is necessary because if you're short on B12, it causes irreversible neurological damage. So irreversible mean
And I have a lot of that. I can't afford any more neurological damage.
I can relate, growing up in Jamaica. So there's no drinking age there. So.
Nisha, I feel like we're the same person. I think we have like two more. The next one is @Stefan_Tambic. Are there any health risks with eating completely plant-based?
If you are eating a lot of whole plant foods, the only risk is that you're gonna look so good. But I don't know what that leads to. But the only risk is the B12, which we talked about. That's if you're purely vegan. Vegetarians don't run that risk. So if you are purely vegan, it's B12. But Iron, you're going to get iron if you're eating, beans, lentils. Getting iron and protein are a lot easier than you think, especially if you're eating, whole foods.
You heard that, Steph, and take your B12. And the last question is from @quesadilla7. What are some plant-based foods with high protein?
There used to be a myth that you had to pair these different foods like rice and beans and to get a complete protein. And that has actually been debunked a long time ago because plant-based proteins come with a ton of nutrients. And, red lentils loaded with proteins, those tiny little gems that you look at, they seem so insignificant. You put them next to a piece of, a steak and you're like, really? But yes, really.
So a handful of red lentils had the same amount of like protein of like a 4-ounce steak?
You eat plant-based and you eat a varied and good diet, you incorporate whole food, you're going to get your protein. It's not something you have to worry about. You don't have to think about, I need to complement my proteins. It's actually all a myth. You're going to be just fine.
And those are our questions. Thank you. Nisha, this has been so great talking to you. I feel like I've had a nutrition course. I feel like I'm better armed with tools to help me access more plant-based living and learning. And a lot of it is here in the Practically Vegan book. Where can we find the book? Where is it available?
It's out now, yes. And it's all over. You can get it at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, independent bookstores, I think Target, Walmart.
Oh, yes, honey. You have it at the Target? That's where I'm going to send my family to get it.
Remember, it's budget friendly, so.
Yes, y'all, Practically Vegan, more than 100 easy, delicious vegan dinners on a budget. My favorite words. I'm gonna make some dips, I'm gonna make some sauces. I'm gonna make it and I will tag you on Instagram, which your Instagram is?
At Cooking for Peanuts.
And you also have your blog, which is cookingforpeanuts.com, right?
Yes, cookingforpeanuts.com.
Perfect, thank you, Nisha. Woo! And thank you all for watching The Plant-Based Way with me, Monet. Listen, like this video, comment, share, subscribe, and click the link in the description box so you can have your own alpha foods. Until next time, peace. 3 Spice Girls, peace. Girl power.